Hello everyone, Tim here with Tech Muscle. Today I would like to go over my first research with SARMS. My first research with SARMS was a stack, as you can see here. This was my stack, my very first one that I got. I went down to a local nutrition supplement store and I saw this stuff and I had heard about it back when I was a trainer. I was all natty trainer. I had never tried SARMs. I heard pro hormones were supposed to be more effective than SARMs, but they were good, better than creatine. After trying them, I would have to agree they are better than creatine. Um, so this was my very first try. It was a shred stack. I told the guy I wanted to kind of recomp, build some muscle and work on getting a little fat off at the same time, and he recommended this one. So I went with this one, didn't know anything about it, joined some SARMS groups on Facebook, which I'll put some links to um, some SARMS groups on Facebook that I know are good ones, and the people in them are knowledgeable. I fished around through a few before I got the ones dialed in. I'll share those with you guys, anyways. So a stack. I would not personally recommend. I don't know why he recommended this. Me take a stack for my first SARM. I guess because it was goal specific and it was probably a little bit more since it was three SARMs in one. I believe this bottle cost me $90 at the store, and that was a couple of years ago. So it has stenobolic in it, 30 milligrams, Austrian with MK6. I'm sorry, MK 2866 Austrian. The weak. It's a weaker SARM. That's actually, well, no, this one's a SARM too, and the Andrin S4, which is like a cutting SARM. I've heard some people refer to Andrin as weak Winnie. Um, Now, when I took this, I noticed after just a couple of days, and this is three caps equals this dose here. So one in the morning, one in the afternoon, one in the night. I had it taken, as you can see. I had my pill there at night in my in my pill thing there, so that I wouldn't forget. That's three times a day. Hey, I got to take it. I'm on cycle. Let's do this. So three times a day. And just, before I go any further with this video, just because I researched with SARMs doesn't mean you have to. This video is just for educational and edutainment purposes. Okay, you can even see right here on the bottle, not for human consumption. SARMs are not for human consumption. I do not condone it, nor do I recommend that humans be consumed or humans consume SARMs at any point. So I would just like to say that disclaimer. So for entertainment purposes only, moving forward, you can see this SARM was HPLC tested. That's a good thing to look for your first SARM cycle. You want it to be something good. Those are possible to counterfeit. I've heard that the liquids are even harder to counterfeit. These were pills that I took. As you can see, they were caps. The first couple days, then I noticed some strength increases, and it seemed like I had a really big pump, like on my arms. And I was like, wow. I mean, I was like, that's crazy. I was like, is that my imagination? I was like, I swear, I can lift like 20 or 30 pounds more than I could, and lift it easily, more than And I was like, well, what's going on here? So about the third day, okay, I this is my story here for my first my little scare here for my first cycle, and I never tried SARMs before. My first time with any type of real PED other than creatine and protein, which aren't really PEDs, if you know, they're just basically concentrated meat. So anyways, uh I'm on this, right, and I'm feeling good and everything. Well, one day happens to be the same day I added in a new amino acid by Optimal Nutrition. And it's amino acid, so what? Add a little bit with the protein. It's also another sort of form of concentrated meat. Get all those in, so you don't have to eat 20 steaks a day and get all the fat out of it. That's why we do protein shakes when you're trying to actually build muscle. So I'm there. I start working out at the gym, and about 20, 30 minutes into my workout, my heart starts beating so fast. And I'm working out, and I have plenty of strength, and I have plenty of power, I have plenty of energy. I'm just like tearing it down, like I said, 30, 45 minutes into the workout. And I just feel like my heart's just gonna jump out of my chest, and I'm going, oh my gosh! I was like, I don't know, this doesn't feel right. I was like, I think I'm having a bad reaction because they said to start with a smaller dose and make sure you don't have a reaction, right? So, but I kind of did, but I wasn't long. Just like I said, like after the first day, I was taking the full dose. You got to kind of try it some too, though. Anyways, and I heard all these horror stories about Andrin and making you go blind and all kinds of crazy stuff. Well, I'm sitting there and I couldn't even take it anymore. I was like, oh my gosh! I was like, I'm having a bad reaction. I know it. I know it. I was like, starting to think, am I going to die or something? Am I going to have a freaking heart attack? Right? I'm freaking out. And then I remembered I started taking that new amino acid. I was like, because it feels like I don't know, like I drank like 20 freaking rock stars in a row. That's what I felt like. I just, I was like, this feels like some speed or something. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't think the SARMS is supposed to make you like speed like this. I mean, I'm like speedered out. Well, sure enough, I went home and looked at the bottle, 300 milligrams, and I believe I had a cup of coffee or something, some caffeine before I went there, and then I slammed 300 milligrams straight, and I am caffeine sensitive. Like one cup of coffee, two when I'm jetered. That was like 300 milligrams is like 4 or 5 cups, six cups of coffee maybe. I mean, that was crazy. So that explained that. And I continued my cycle. And as a matter of fact, I was on the SARMS group asking people about it while my heart's all beating. And these guys decided to mess with me then, and were telling me all this stuff like I'm gonna freaking die, and I'm gonna have freaking prostate cancer and all kinds of stuff. I was freaking out for a minute. Oh my gosh, that was crazy. But so anyways, on to the effects of the compound. The stenobolic, I believe, and see now this is why it's a bad idea to do a stack your first time because you can't really tell what compound's doing what. You can kind of if there's something in there that's notable for that effect and you feel that effect, it probably is that compound then. The stenobolic is notable for making you strong and have good pumps, and I certainly felt some of that. Some people had argued that stenobolic is only bioavailable through injections, and I have heard a lot of people beg to differ, and I'll be honest with you, I have to lean towards the people that beg to differ because my experience here, there's nothing in there that should have made me as strong as I was. I mean, the strength, my bench probably ended up going up 50 pounds. And then so I only ran this cycle for like 6 weeks. I was really scared. It was my first cycle. I had never experienced with PEDs. I wasn't on TRT or nothing. I didn't want massive suppression. So the Austrian, I did feel like it was maybe kind of good for my bones and stuff. I felt really good about my workout. I felt pretty healthy. The Austrian is a SARM, and it's supposed to be more just for muscle wasting. You can take the 30 milligrams a day is a pretty decent dose. Um, so really, a lot of the idea is if, especially if you're in between a few days, if you do a little intermittent fasting, something like that, you don't lose any of the muscle that you've gained. And maybe it will help you gain a little bit, give you a little edge. But that's it. The Android S4, I did notice effects. I've never done Winnie, but I've noticed effects that were supposed to be like Winnie. My muscles, I experienced for the first time what it means to have your muscles dry. None of these compounds are wet. So then the Android S4 took over, and my muscles were so dry and so hard. I loved it. And my very first experience, and now I know what they mean when they say dry and full or whatever or wet. Because I'm kind of wet now. I'm on some LGD right now. It has me retain a little bit of water. Plus my diet's been really crappy, but whatever. That's been on me. I'm turning that around right now. But anyways, I definitely noticed my muscles like hardening, and I was able to see like the definition and the fibers and stuff, especially when I would lift a little bit. I noticed that they were like more kind of cut and defined, and just almost like they were engaged just a little bit, even at rest. They were just they were like, I don't know how else to describe it. It's something to experience. So that's one thing you do get out of SARMs is you can get muscle hardness, muscle dryness, certain ones, Andrin S4. So Andrin S4, I'm sure a lot of people are wondering, did it affect my vision? No, it did not whatsoever. Maybe a hair sensitive to light. I didn't really, I was even able to still drive at night. Nothing, maybe a little tinge in my vision of color change. I don't even really know, barely, if any. At 50 milligrams, I personally didn't experience any. I think that's when you get up around like 80, 90 milligrams. People lie, say they took 50 and they took freaking 90, talking about they almost went blind. I still don't think you almost go blind, but you will start to have vision issues because there's something in androgen that binds to your eye receptors. So also why these are not exactly for human consumption. A lot of these, what they are, SARMs, they are compounds that were meant for muscle wasting or maybe a little bit of muscle building, helping AIDS patient or a muscular dystrophy patient, whatever, people with muscle wasting diseases mostly to build back and maintain their strength. But uh, for whatever reason, they didn't make it through all the way to clinical testing. I think Austrian's actually pretty close to being approved. I believe so for by the FDA, and that's a good sign. If it's almost approved by the FDA, it's made it through. It made it in its third stage now. But still, even things approved by the FDA, 12 years later, they got all these lawsuits. So really, you're on your own with SARMs. Again, I don't recommend them. But if you are going to use them, be cautious with them. Know what you're doing. Do your research. All that type of stuff. So, anyways, for entertainment purposes here, I am going to continue. So, Andrin was not that bad. No problems. No bad side effects from any of these, all good side effects, and I was not on TRT. I knew about what my test was beforehand, and I had a testosterone test done shortly after this cycle with no PCT. And myself personally, I was not suppressed whatsoever. A lot of people would try and say, "Oh, well, your SARMs weren't any good." Well, I'll tell you what, that was better than creatine. And so I don't know. Maybe the Austrian in it was a little weak, and the Andrin. I don't know. Maybe because it was my first cycle, my receptors. Everybody's different for sure, and what you're going to be suppressed and that type of thing. Now, one thing I did take while I was on this cycle, like you said, with any type of oral, even including really Tylenol and stuff, you should be taking milk thistle. That's good to take all year round because anything oral that your liver has to work to produce, the milk thistle is going to help and it can actually reverse damage in the liver. It's not a bad thing to take. It's very cheap. You can get it on Amazon. I get one particularly with milk thistle and dandelion root off of Amazon. Like $20 for a bottle. It lasts me like almost 3 months. It's great. And so the other thing, another thing you have to watch on SARMs. I don't remember particularly if it was this one or not. I don't think so. I may have done some just to be on the safe side. Is I take a little bit of niacin, and that helps keep my cholesterol down because some SARMs can increase your cholesterol. They can increase your heart rate. So while I'm on here, I just like to say I heard somebody at the gym. Well, somebody not heard. Somebody told me at the gym that SARMs were natural, and they worked, but they were all natural, and they were like good for you. They couldn't hurt you or something like that. I'll tell you what, that is so not true. SARMs can hurt you very badly if you don't know what you're doing with them. So mostly it's your liver support. I'll always take a liver support anytime, any type of oral SARM. If you're injecting, you don't have to worry about it. but niacin, and it has to be the not the flush-free kind, the kind that will flush your skin red. Niacin citrate or something, I think I want to say something acid, citric acid, niacin, no, something, I don't know, niacin something acid. Uh, it feels like an acid that burns your skin, but you got to keep your cholesterol down or some sort of cholesterol medication to keep it down. So that's basically a recap. This is what I did: the stenobolic, the ostrine, the andrine, um, and that's it. I took 3 caps a day. I got stronger. I did stop. Like I said, at 6 weeks. That's probably why I wasn't really suppressed much. And I did just that dosage. I didn't go outside of that dosage. Those aren't like astronomical dosages. So I wasn't suppressed. I'm on TRT now, and I've taken SARMs that have suppressed me since. But I'm gonna be talking about that in some other videos. So, anyways, I guess this wraps it up. Oh yes, I wanted to say this particular stack right here from this particular company. This particular company is no longer in business, but if you're looking to take this same exact stack, even if you're not a beginner, this is a great shred stack. If you are a beginner, like I said, I wouldn't recommend taking a stack, but if you did, this wouldn't be really a bad stack to take because it's fairly friendly and you're going to see some results off of it. But if you go over here to Patriot Subs, okay, I'm going to put the link in the description here. Where are we at here? Patriot Subs here. Okay, you guys can just not. I'm sorry, not in the description, in the comments. And then you can go right here. I'm going to show you the same exact stack. It was a very, very nice stack. If I was shredding, I would certainly want to use it for a cut or a shred. It'll help maintain that muscle. It gives you a little boost to help, keep you while you're off of your other cycle, keep you going. Where is it at? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Best selling. Where? Oh, I'm in. Is that why? Where? Oh, there's the mass liquid. Shred liquid, I'm sorry. It's been a long day. 135 bucks. This bottle lasts you probably a month at full dosage. There it is. The Andrin S4, 50 milligrams, stenobolic, 30 milligrams, Ostrin, 30 milligrams. The same identical stack that I did for my very first cycle. Like I said, if you're doing some running, some cycling, might not be a bad one. That stenobolic, it gives you a lot of energy and a lot of extra strength. I mean, like, I'll put it this way: it's if I know they're not as powerful as steroids. Don't expect results off like steroids off of SARMs, but if I had to put them up there, I would put them under steroids, but above creatine. As far as for performance, I mean, you really will see a difference. So, anyways, uh, alrighty, and they can change your muscles, make them harder, not, for certain things, especially for bodybuilding. They like to tweak their muscles out. But, anyways, all right, so there's the first arm cycle stack. Just looking back on that, had to do a review on that, and I'll review my stacks or my cycles as I've went. Also, so don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next video. And like the video, that really helps the algorithm. Feel free to comment, ask any questions. Go to the SARMS groups. You can use, like I said, I'm going to put the link in the description for Patriot Subs to get this same exact one. There's lots of other SARMs and such on there. By the way, when you go to pay with Patriot, you will be redirected from. It will say thank you for your payment, whatever, but you haven't paid anything yet, really. And it will send you an email, and there will be an invoice there on the email that you will have to pay. It's just sometimes because SARMs are stuck in a gray area, the credit card companies can give them a hard time. There's a way to work around it too. I've seen it. but that's just how it is for this website. But you can pay with your card. Just pay on the invoice. Fast shipping. The owner's going to be in the Facebook group there that I post, so feel free to join in there. Just any questions you have about SARMS, feel free to ask there or in my comments. We're always happy to help. All right, you guys have a great day. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe. And stay smart, stay swole. Have a great night.